into a weekend last played on Thursday. Hard-fought win versus Boston College. Looking ahead, we have 2 games at the XL Center versus Maine. Tough team. They've beaten, at the time, number 3 Quinnipiac and have tied ranked Northeastern. Just want to get your thoughts heading into the weekend matchup. How everyone's been looking in practice ahead of big weekend.
Yeah, we do. We have a big weekend against the Maine Black Bears. Those games are always tight when we play them, that's for sure. I think Ben Barr's doing an excellent job with that program. They, they got some really talented kids up front. I think Breen is very clever and skates extremely well. He's dangerous around the net. Uhl's pretty good. Poisson, the freshman there, they have Friel has put up some decent numbers for him in the few games that they've played. And on defense, Brazil was a really good player for them last year. Sirota has a lot of experience in this league, and both goaltenders are very big. They take up a lot of net. I don't know which one we'll see, but they're both very capable of being elite goaltenders. So, like anybody else in this league, when you're preparing for a team like Maine, I know that they're going to bring a lot of energy and physicality, and we've got to be extremely diligent, I think, in our own zone. I think we've got to an area where we've got to be cleaner on our breakouts. I thought that was a problem against Boston College, and establish more as I call it, running time in the offensive zone. But we've got to be able to have more multiple shot shifts. I don't think we had enough of those against Boston College as well.
Okay, we'll open it up for questions. If we could use the raise your hand emo or type in chat, and we'll get to the questions. Dan, let's start off with you.
You mentioned after BC that you thought you guys might have gotten a little tired there in the third period after playing so many games in so many days. So did the weekend off help and let you guys rest up a little bit after quite a start? I think you're like, if you played 36 games, you'd be a quarter of the way through the season, and it's 1 month in. Right.
And we play 34 games. So we're almost past that. Right. So I do think it helped. We did not practice Friday or Saturday. We had a off ice weight session on Sunday and then got back at it Monday. So I do feel like those few days off certainly helped re-energize our guys a little bit.
Randy, we'll go over to you.
Thanks. Morning, Cav. How are you?
Good morning, Randy. Yourself?
I'm well, thank you. I'm well.
Good.
Can you tell me about that, the D zone breakout? BC's heavy on the forecheck, but there was, as you said, maybe some turnovers in the D zone. How much of that is the opposition's forecheck, and how much of it is your team identity of wanting to stretch the ice and create offense from defense out of your defensive zone?
I think Maine's going to forecheck hard too. I was, watching them on tape. They're going to come at us. I think sometimes, you got to give credit to the other team. They place the puck in an area where it puts us in a vulnerable position, and they get on it and they finish their check. And then you got to be able to survive that, play good defense, and make a couple plays to get out of your zone. There's other times where, we do a really good job in the neutral zone. We force a poor dump on their part, and we're able to get the puck with our head up and be able to make a play and come out a lot quicker. I think it was a combination of both. I thought BC did a pretty good job forechecking us, but on the flip side, there were 3 or 4 opportunities where we had the puck on our stick with time to make a play to get it out of the zone. And we either, failed flipping it or didn't make the play we needed to make. And that just extended our time in the defensive zone. And that's where it gets dangerous. So, you can play defense for 15 to 20 seconds and be pretty good. If that starts going to 30 to 40 in your own zone, then you're going to be in trouble. That's when guys get tired, they get mentally tired, and you give up grade A opportunities.
Thank you. I want to piggyback on Dan's question too about the kind of the schedule being front loaded and all these, Hockey East games in particular at the beginning of the year. Does having a goalie rotation kind of help take some pressure off of each other? Both are playing well. And with the long plan, you know, that the season is a grind. Does having two goalies in a rotation maybe help in the long plan there?
It certainly doesn't hurt when you have two goaltenders that are very capable of winning you games and you have confidence in both. It doesn't hurt. No, I mean, that's an area where, especially, you know, sometimes when you're playing back-to-back games where a goaltender might be able to, you know, wear down a little bit. But, you know, also Darian Hansen played every game for us last year and was an Iron Man. And there's been plenty of goaltenders that have been able to do that as well. Now, he was a fifth-year kid and he was older and he knew he was in tune with his body and how to stay in optimal physical shape. So there was a lot of experience there. When you have two younger kids that are still feeling their way through college hockey, I definitely think it's a bonus for us.
And one last one from me, the way you closed out that BC game, I imagine that had to sit pretty well with you. That's what coaches talk about, you know, closing strong. Is that you know, maybe a testament to the veteran presence that you have? Those four, I know Ty wasn't in there, but the, you know, kind of the experience that you brought in through the transfer portal this year is showing up.
Yeah, I think it was a funny, like we made a really good play to make it 3-1. A really good you know, we got the puck out of our zone because we had iced the puck and then we wound up taking a timeout because we had our guys stuck on the ice. The group we put out there did a good job to get the puck out of the zone, but then Jake Percival made a great play in the neutral zone, you know, defensive play and sent Ryan in on the breakaway. And then we got, you know, the empty net goal, which they pulled the goalie pretty early and, you know, we got the empty net goal and then we got, so I mean, it wasn't like I thought, you know, against Ohio State, I thought we closed out that third period really well and played extremely well and deserved to win that game 6-1. I'm not sure that we deserve to beat BC 5-1.
Thanks. To see you tomorrow and looking forward to the weekend.
Bob, we'll head over to you.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
I'm good, Bob. You?
I'm doing well, thank you. Getting ready for a nutty schedule now here. The game on Thursday, I thought Logan was outstanding, but the saves that he made, and he made some tough ones, but it almost looked like many times he made him look easy just because he was always seemed to be square to the shooter.
I think that's a key for any good goaltender. You know, if you get your feet set and you're square to a shooter, the goaltenders at this level are going to make the save 99% of the time. And I think that's something that Vince Stiletti's really worked on with him. And it's something Logan works on every day. You'd be hard pressed to find another player on our team. I'm not saying he's the hardest worker on our team, but he's certainly in the conversation when we talk about guys that are committed to their craft and put in the time to be a really good player. And that's one area I think when he's on his game, that's what you see from him.
Do goalies anticipate that sort of thing through maybe looking at video, or how do they work at that craft and really learn to master it?
Yeah, I think it's being comfortable, you know, it's better off. Like they want to get to spots. A lot of times goaltenders want to get to the top of the crease, you know, to cut the angle and make it tougher for the shooter. And sometimes they're so committed to get to the top of the crease that they're sliding at the top of the crease. And that's where there's problems because they'll slide into a save. And if they don't handle it cleanly, then there's a rebound and they're out of position. So I think Logan has really worked on, if I don't get to my spot, that's okay if my feet are set. And that's what he's really trying to trust, like having his feet set to make saves.
Dan, we'll head over to you.
Having talked with Logan a couple times now this season, it seems like he's just someone who was born to be a goalie. Everything he does seems to be wired to, this is what I got to do to be a good goalie. Is that something you've seen, and is that rare, the way that he does it for goalies, or is that just kind of the way they all are?
I don't know. I mean, you could do probably a doctorate thesis on how goalies, you know, live their lives, and that would be really interesting piece, Dan. I don't know. They're all different. they're all very different. As I said, I know Logan's committed to being the very best goaltender he can be. And he understands, I think he's a different goaltender than Arseni. Like Arseni, he's a different goaltender than Darian. And I think Logan understands, for me to be the best goaltender I can be, this is how I have to play. And he does work, whether it's off the ice and throwing balls against the wall or doing different things that Vince has him doing to optimize, I said, his strengths as a goaltender and to be the very best version of Logan.
And then how's Ty doing this week?
He's good. You know, he practiced full up yesterday, so we'll see how he goes today and we'll make a decision.
What about the rest of the health of the team?
Yeah, as of today, we're good. We have a full lineup going out for practice today.
We'll head over to you, Gabby.
Hey, Mike, everybody's favorite question, every coach's favorite question, just about rankings. I know you love to talk about it, right? But just what does it mean to be a top 10 team now? This has been building and building, and every week, yeah, you've had the front-loaded schedule that has certainly led some credence to that. But I just want your thoughts on building up to being a top 10 team.
Yeah, it's not something that we're going to shy away from. We're excited to be a top 10 team. I'd want to be a top 5 team. That's also a goal. It's a goal to be number 1 in the country. And I don't think you can ever hide from that and be afraid to talk about it. It's what our aspirations are. And, we want to win Hockey East championships. We want to win league titles. We want to compete for a national championship. All of those things are things that we talk about in our locker room all the time. And it's great that we're a top 10 team, but we also understand, Gabby, that, 7 wins aren't going to get us into the national tournament. And it's not going to win a Hockey East title either. So while it's all well and good, we have to continue to just keep grinding and keep improving and keep getting better as a team and program. You can have the greatest start in the world, but if you can't continue to play at a high level, you can go down those rankings as fast as you go up.
And just one more to follow up on that, knowing that in the grand scheme of things, right, on the Mike Cavanaugh plan of what he wanted to do when he took over at UConn, just where does seeing your team now in the top 10, what does that mean to the overall big picture for you and your hopes for this team?
Yeah, we try to stay true to the core values of the program. And I said it at my press conference. I've said it ad nauseum. We want to graduate players. We want to make them better men when they are here. And we want to compete for trophies. And we stay focused on those 3 core principles. And, I think we've done a great job at the first 2 for a long time. And, last year we competed for a trophy, but we needed to be more consistent. And I've always said, I want to be a blue chip company, a team that's consistently doing that, not a team that, does it and then falls back for 3 or 4 years and then does it again, that type of company, a .com. I want to be a blue chip company and continue to strive to make our players better people and, get them a degree while they're here at the University of Connecticut. And at the same time, compete for trophies. And that's where our focus lies. And, we take it on a daily basis.
Thanks.
Sure.
And we'll head over to you.
I know how much of a fan you are of the other team. So the other UConn teams on campus. So what do you think of football right now and the way they're playing?
I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. I'm upset that we have to play up against them on Friday night. I wish we could have, moved the game, but it's a tough to do when you got Maine coming down here. It's not so simple to just to move the game. So unfortunately, we have to go up against them. But I'm really excited, and they certainly got a legitimate chance here to be bowl eligible. And I mean, what a remarkable turnaround that would be. So I'm rooting for Coach Moore and his club on Friday night.
Hey, Jake, tell me what kind of conversation is taking place in the locker room as you guys move up the polls. Top 20, top 10. Now you're up even higher. What's the conversation about that? Like, I know Coach doesn't shy away from those things. They're goals for the program. What are you guys talking about when it comes to that?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely gets brought up and it gets mentioned how it's good to see our programs rising. And I think at the same time, though, we talk about how it's hard to stay there. It's easy to fall down and drop in the ranks, but it's hard to stay up there and keep winning hockey games. And we just have to play our brand of hockey and do what we do best to stay up high in the ranks.
Do you start to feel more and more like you guys have targets on your backs, that you're getting everyone's A game because of those rankings?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think in the past when we'd be a lower ranked team, we'd definitely get pretty amped up for the big games. And I think now we're a team that, like you said, is up there, and teams are going to come and they want to beat us. And it's fun because then we got to bring you got to bring our A game every game as well.
Randy, we'll head over to you.
Jake, for a team where the defense stretches the ice as much as your blue liners do, and so much offense begins with you guys in the defensive zone, take me through like the thought process of a defenseman when it's decision time between slamming it up the wall, playing it safe, or trying to create some offense from the defensive zone.
Yeah, I mean, we try and have as much confidence as we can breaking the puck out. I think that's something I know I stress as much as I can, is just making an easy breakout pass and trying to spend the least amount of time you can in the defensive zone. And then obviously the defense will lead the offense. If the puck's not in your zone, you're spending more time in the O zone, then you have a good chance of creating offense, obviously.
With so much production up front and it's really balanced around through four lines, what are you seeing from? You got a great view from the defensive zone and from the blue line. What do you see from those four lines?
I mean, it's fun to watch. I think that we have four lines that are combined with a lot of guys that have skill, a lot of guys that play heavy and skate fast, and it's great to have like threats in different ways, and to watch each line contribute is really nice because it makes a huge difference for sure.
What's the both special teams, both sides of special teams are really clicking? Why?
It's I mean, we definitely have a great power play. In practice, trying to defend it's pretty hard. You just see like there's a lot of chemistry. It seems like guys just know where each other are all the time. It seems pretty free flowing, and guys have a lot of confidence. I think when you have a power play that has a lot of confidence, it's fun to watch. And then I think on the penalty kill, we just try and stay aggressive and try and play hard and make it tough for the other teams to make a play, make them stay on their toes, kind of.
A follow-up question to that, because you made a great point that you go up against a really good power play on the penalty kill in practice. And coaches talked about the importance of the PK being like on the same page. All four guys have to be aggressive, or all four guys have to be committed to sitting back in shooting lanes. When you go up against the power play that is clicking so much right now, does that make the penalty kill more in sync for making that decision to be on the same page?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're on the mock PK, you have to give the power play a good look. And so I think on the same time, it helps us as a penalty kill when you have guys that are both killing penalties on both sides in practice, that you do have to be on the same page and try your best to shut down those power play lines.
Thanks, Jake. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Bob, we'll head over to you.
Jake, I got a ration of crap on Twitter from Jakob Kondalik when I posted that Harrison hadn't scored in 30 games. What was it? How excited were you guys to see big old number 27 hop out of the box with a clean break and score the other night?
Yeah, it's awesome. I think obviously on the back end, the defense get pretty fired up for each other when we put one in. But it's funny, like you obviously don't see a defenseman going on breakaways often, especially out of the penalty box. So when that went in, we were all pretty fired up, and that was a really big goal and a momentum changer for us.
What about an underappreciated part of his game for Harrison? What are some things that we maybe don't see on a day-to-day basis about his game?
I think he's just so steady as a player. He plays great defense, breaks the puck out well, and he's a big boy too. So it's nice, get shots down from the point. I think he's smart, very smart hockey player.
Thank you.
Dan, we'll head over to you.
I've noticed before games getting there, you and Andrew Lucas sitting on the bench, tossing pucks to the different spots. When did that start, and whose idea was it?
It actually started. It started last year with Carter Berger. Me and him would sit on the
Okay.
bench, and we toss pucks out. It wasn't as I'd say now we make it more of a game. Me and Berge kind of used to toss them out just different spots, but now me and Luke's have the 4 dots. Make sure we try and get as many as we can on each dots, and then get one throw to the net, one throw in the net too, which is kind of funny.
Anything else for Jake, guys?
Yeah, I'll ask one. What are your thoughts on Maine this weekend?
I think it's gonna be a good matchup. I think they play pretty hard. They play a hard style of game, and we do as well. So it'll be nice. And I think we just gotta really play offense, but make sure we limit our defensive mistakes. And I think we should be pretty good on the weekend.
Andrew, we'll go over to you.
Hey, Jake. So I grew up in Abington and I live in Whitman, so I'm a fellow South Shore guy like yourself. I guess I just wanted to ask you, what were your expectations when you were going to UConn, both for yourself and for the program? I mean, did you envision that as a senior you'd be among the leadership and you'd be on a top 10 team?
Yeah, I mean, I think I didn't know exactly what to expect. I was obviously young coming in, and I didn't know exactly what my role was going to be and how I was going to fit. I definitely wanted to play as much as I could, and I think when I got here, I exceeded my expectations a bit as a freshman. And then I think where the program's gone is awesome. I think I knew I was coming into a program that was getting better every year, and that I wanted to be a part of something like that. And to do it now is pretty awesome, for sure.